this week's edition of NYK Sports. I'm Creighton.
And I'm Mike.
And this week we are doing our Thanksgiving special. We are saying the things that we are thankful for from the 2010 sports season. Mike, lead us off.
Well, first thing I have to say I'm thankful for, no surprise here, is my annual pick of the Patriots going deep into the playoffs is looking pretty good so far. I mean, I couldn't have predicted that Randy Moss was going to get cut pretty much, and Deion Branch would come back to the team, and the defense would play as well as they are. None of that stuff I really could have guessed, but the team seems to be coming together as a whole this year.
Well, I'd be careful before you predict the deep playoff run. I mean, the AFC is stacked this year. In your division alone, you have Patriots, Jets, Miami. In the South, there's Indianapolis, Tennessee, and Houston could make a run. And the North, there's the Steelers and the Ravens, and who knows coming out of the West.
I mean, I agree with you there, but a lot of those teams you named have been very up and down this season. And, I mean, I can't say the Patriots haven't losing the Browns, but at the same time as last week, they absolutely dominated the Steelers the entire game. So I feel like a playoff run for them is a pretty safe bet at this point.
I think let's just be safe to say that Rob Gronkowski, U of A graduate, very big game.
Fair enough.
All right, well, my turn to make the homer pick now. I'm going to say thank you for the Phoenix Suns' 2010 playoff run into the Western Conference Finals. This summer, I had a lot of fun watching the Suns. I may have been in attendance at Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals, and it was very fun to see your team do well.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, and I actually would have wished they would have made it to the finals because I think I'd rather play the Suns than the Lakers.
Well, it's been a great 1976 rematch. Best NBA game ever, Game 6 in the Garden. Triple overtime, couple. If you haven't seen it, go to YouTube, check it out.
I hear you. Fair enough.
All right.
But what I got to say I'm thankful for, sticking with the NBA pattern, is I'm thankful for the way the Miami Heat have started this NBA season. I mean, after all their off-season move, I hated this team coming into the season. I feel like I disliked them far more than the Lakers. And to see them lose to the Celtics already twice, the only teams they're really beating a lot are the teams that aren't winning anyways. They're struggling against above 500 teams. I'm very thankful that they're doing as poorly as they are.
Well, they haven't been very good yet this year, but I still feel like they're going to win enough games. One theory I heard somewhere was that, what if they were the 3 seed and ended up playing Cleveland in the playoffs, and it was playoff matchups in Cleveland? How excited would those crowds be?
Oh, I think it would be a great matchup. And I mean, obviously, you'd look at that match and be like, Cleveland has no chance.
And plus, the Eastern Conference is awful, and there's a good chance that Cleveland could, even without LeBron James, be a 500 team.
There's definitely a great chance of it. And I feel like the motivation, how fired up Cleveland would be for those games, would actually turn a should-be blowout into a series if that were to happen.
So let's all cross our fingers and hope that happens right now. All right, well, the second thing I'm especially grateful for this year is Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly, after a great freshman year, has even stepped up even further. Against Duke a week or two ago, he had 21 tackles, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. This is his second 20-tackle-plus game. He's on a long streak of double-digit tackles. How can he not win ACC Defensive Player of the Year?
He's an absolutely incredible football player. If you just watch him play for a little while, he follows the ball every single play. He always knows where the ball is going. He rarely makes a mistake on the field. He's definitely one of the more impressive players I've seen on this BC team in a while.
So you've been here for Herzlich's Defensive Player of the Year. No, wait. Kuechly's should be Defensive Player of the Year. Which season was more impressive?
I have to say I think the Herzlich season was more impressive. I feel like Kuechly is a more fundamental, maybe a more fundamental player than Herzlich, but Herzlich I think brought more energy, more excitement.
When he had all the pick returns.
Right. Herzlich definitely brought the excitement. So if they're the same caliber football player, I think Herzlich wins in the excitement tiebreaker.
Well, here's hoping they both join the ACC Defensive Player of the Year club.
Right.
And that brings us to our...
That brings me to the final thing. We both agree on this one that we're thankful for is Mark Herzlich making the recovery he has this year. I mean, obviously, a year and a half ago, no one really knew what Mark Herzlich's status was going to be. No one even honestly knew if he was going to survive. So to see him back on the football field playing every week, I think is a pretty incredible thing to see.
When the introduction against Weber State was a big deal. That was everyone. It's something that the team came around, and everyone's glad that he's able to be here.
Yeah, it's definitely been it's been very strong for the school itself. Everyone's come together around him, and maybe the football team hasn't been that strong this year, but I think he's been I think that's a great thing that we all should be thankful for.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of NYK Sports. We're going to send it back to the desk.